Granted, Mr. Carnegie, that organized thinking is an individual responsibility. There must be a starting point from which one begins to acquire the ability to organize his thinking, and at least a few simple rules by which one may be guided in this business of organizing his thoughts. Could you name some of the rules?
The first thing one must recognize in order to become an accurate thinker is the known fact that the power with which we think is mental dynamite that can be organized and used constructively for the attainment of definite ends. But if it is not organized and used through controlled habits, it may become a mental explosive that will literally blast one's hopes of achievement and lead to inevitable failure. Stating the matter in another way, one should recognize that the power of thought is probably a projected portion of infinite intelligence. But every individual has been given the privilege of appropriating and using this power for the attainment of ends of his own choice, that the medium of appropriation and control is voluntary habits. One cannot control infinite intelligence, but one can control his own mental and physical habits. Thus, indirectly, he may appropriate and use infinite intelligence because infinite intelligence fixes one's habits and makes them permanent and automatic in their operation. Next, the accurate thinker must learn how to avail himself of reliable sources of information, where to obtain dependable facts which he will need in connection with organized thinking. Guesswork and hopeful wishing, the most common sources of information to a majority of the people, can never be relied upon to supplant accurate sources of facts. Here is where the mastermind principle becomes indispensable, as it enables one to supplant his own stock of knowledge with the knowledge, education, experience, and native ability of all others with whom he has a mastermind alliance. If one chooses his mastermind allies wisely, as most successful business and industrial leaders choose theirs, one may have at his command the most reliable sources of knowledge that schooling and human experience have to offer. Thus, in his business of thinking, planning, and organizing, he has not merely his own brain to guide him, but the brains of each member of his mastermind alliance. There is no escape from the fact that the formation of a mastermind alliance is one of the most important major steps one must take in order to organize his thinking, evidence of which may be found in the fact that all successful people are allied, in one way or another, with others whose knowledge they use freely. Without such an alliance, there can be no such reality as effective organized thinking. And this for the reason that one brain, no matter how capable it may be, is never complete by itself. When we speak of a man's wife as his better half, we generally express much more of the truth than we realize. For it is a well-known fact that no man's mind is complete without a harmonious alliance with the mind of a woman. Therefore, every man should include at least one woman in his mastermind alliance. When the minds of male and female are combined, or blended, in a spirit of harmony, the alliance tunes in and appropriates a much greater proportion of that force, which we call spiritual power, than either can appropriate when operating independently. The man who overlooks this truth will suffer an irreparable loss of potential mind power, as there is nothing that can take the place of spiritual power. Now, I cannot tell you what spiritual power really is, but I assume that it is simply a greater volume of infinite intelligence than that which is available where the feeling we describe as spiritual is not present. There are certain emotions which lift one into this exalted feeling, such as the emotion of love and the emotion of faith. While one's mind is stimulated by this exalted feeling, the faculty of the imagination becomes more alert. One's words take on a magnetic influence that makes them impressive. Fear and self-limitation disappear, and one dares to undertake tasks he would not think of beginning when his mind is stimulated only by the purely mental process of enthusiasm and desire.